On the day I moved into the dorms, my roommate Harper White gave me a crystal bracelet as a gift. But I immediately put that bracelet on her mother Grace White's wrist instead. In my previous life, Harper wanted to become the campus social queen and was determined to date 100 boyfriends during college. But no matter how chaotic her private life was, she never got pregnant. Meanwhile, I, who remained single the whole time, kept getting pregnant over and over again, only to miscarry repeatedly. I was mocked by the entire school, students and faculty alike, who said I was promiscuous, shameless, and that my private life was a mess because I couldn't say no to any man. It wasn't until my 66th miscarriage that I died on the operating table from massive bleeding. Only after death did I learn that the crystal bracelet Harper had given me had bound us to a uterus exchange system. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back on move-in day. Harper smiled as she pressed an exquisite crystal bracelet into my hand, saying enthusiastically, "We're going to be roommates from now on. I am giving you this crystal bracelet as a gift. Wearing it will bring you good luck." Looking at the familiar crystal bracelet before me, I realized I had been reborn. I said to Harper, "Thank you for the thought. But this crystal bracelet looks expensive. We just met, and it is not appropriate for you to give such an expensive gift. I can't accept it." With that, I pushed the crystal bracelet back toward her. Harper and Grace were dressed very plainly and didn't look wealthy. Plus, there were 4 people in the dorm room. But Harper was only giving me a gift. Something was obviously wrong. Just then, Carter Green pressed down on my hand and said, "Since Harper is giving it to you, just accept it. You are going to be living together for 4 years. Don't you have any manners?" Harper chimed in. "Yeah, if you don't accept it, you are not giving me any respect." I smiled. Carter was a friend I'd grown up with, and I had applied to this school because of him. But what I hadn't expected was that before school even started, he was already together with Harper in the freshman group chat, and he specifically told me to keep my distance from him. I grabbed Carter's hand and said, "I think this bracelet would look good on you too. Why don't you wear it?" Carter was so scared he immediately shook off my hand and backed away several steps. "Harper gave this to you. How can you put it on me? That would be wasting her thoughtfulness." Sure enough, Carter knew about the bracelet's special effects. Sai then put the bracelet away and stopped talking. While Harper and Carter had their backs turned, I suddenly put the bracelet on Grace's wrist. Seeing the crystal bracelet emit a strange glow, I knew the uterus exchange system had successfully bound. Grace touched the bracelet and smiled with satisfaction, saying, "You are very sensible. My daughter insisted on giving you such an expensive bracelet, but I couldn't bear to part with it." Then she said to me, "You are so young yet you dress so flashily. I suppose you are planning to seduce men. Don't lead my daughter astray in the future. I'll just take this bracelet back, and don't tell Harper about it so she won't throw a tantrum with me." I smiled and said, "Grace, don't worry. I definitely won't tell her." In my previous life, after I put on this crystal bracelet, I was forced to bind with Harper's uterus exchange system. She was determined to become the school's social queen and date a full 100 boyfriends. Harper often didn't return to the dorm at night, going on dates with different boyfriends to various places. But no matter how chaotic Harper's private life was, she never got pregnant. Instead, I, who remained single, kept getting mysteriously pregnant and then miscarrying. Before long, news of my frequent pregnancies and miscarriages spread throughout the entire school. Almost everyone who saw me would call me shameless. Even my classmates openly mocked me, calling me a woman who can't say no to any man. No matter how I tried to explain, no one believed me. Even the doctors at the hospital would shake their heads when they saw me. Owen said, "Young girls these days don't take care of their bodies at all. You don't even use protection. Are you treating your body like a joke?" Finally, during my 66th miscarriage, I hemorrhaged and died on the operating table. This time, I won't let Harper's scheme succeed. Let Grace bear the consequences of her daughter's mistakes. After completing the enrollment procedures, Harper volunteered to treat our entire dorm to dinner. At the dinner table, Harper lifted her head and proudly announced, "My goal is to become the most famous socialite on campus and date 100 boyfriends. Someone as charming as me should fully showcase my appeal throughout the university." My 2 other roommates and I all frowned. My roommate Luna Edwards, who had a very straightforward personality, asked, "What? That doesn't seem right. You are treating relationships like a game. And Carter is your boyfriend. Doesn't he mind you saying this right in front of him?" Before Harper could respond, Carter quickly defended her. "What do you know? This is called being open and free. I love Harper's carefree personality. It is absolutely captivating. Besides, I am Harper's steady boyfriend. Everyone else is just passing through. As long as Harper has me in her heart, What is there for me to mind? After saying this, they held hands, gazed into each other's eyes, and smiled sweetly. My two other roommates and I exchanged glances and smiled too. However, we found these two people ridiculous. I shook my head. Carter had been smart and kind in high school. How had he become like this? I really didn't know why I had ever liked him. Afterward, Harper excitedly continued discussing her master plan. She said, "Our school has 8 departments, so I can date 10 guys from each department, then allocate some spots to people from off campus. If I could get involved with a few professors, that would be even better. How is that? My distribution is pretty fair, right? This way, everyone gets a chance to be with me." I knew there was no point in trying to talk her out of it, so I just kept nodding and praised her decision as brilliant. Luna couldn't help but remind her, "If you are going to date so many guys, you need to take proper precautions. If you accidentally get pregnant, that would be trouble, and abortion would be even more harmful to your body," Harper said dismissively. "I never use protection skin. Skin contact feels the best. Don't worry, I won't get pregnant." I pretended to be shocked and asked, "Why not? Do you have some kind of condition that prevents pregnancy?" Harper glared at me and said, "Don't talk nonsense. As long as I don't want to get pregnant, I won't. If I want to get pregnant, I naturally will, because I have a secret weapon." As she spoke, her eyes glanced toward my wrist. Seeing the crystal bracelet on my wrist, she revealed a smug smile. However, what Harper didn't know was that the bracelet on my wrist was a similar-looking one I'd bought at the school gate. The real bracelet she had originally given me was now on Grace's wrist. That night, Harper didn't return to the dorm, and neither did Carter. The 3 of us remaining in the room had an unspoken understanding not to cover for her. When the teacher came for room checks, we didn't help conceal her absence either. At midnight, Harper posted a message in the freshman group chat. "The beds at the hotel near school are too hard, made my back and legs all sore." She also sent a photo of herself in a bathrobe, half reclining on the bed, with one shoulder exposed. Seeing this message, many guys started replying to her. "Are you posting photos like this at night because you don't want us to sleep? Are you really sore just because the bed is hard?" Once she'd gotten enough of a reaction, Harper sent another message. "Anyone who wants to date me can DM me directly." Harper got a warning from the school for not returning to the dorm at night. But Carter blamed me for not covering for Harper. He said to me, "You are roommates. What is wrong with helping her out? You are not jealous because I chose her over you, are you? Take a look at yourself in the mirror. What do you have that is better than Harper? What right do you have to be upset?" I ignored Carter, rolled my eyes, and went back to the dorm. Just 1 week into school, Harper had already gone through 3 boyfriends every day. When I came back from the library, I'd see her kissing different guys downstairs at the dorm building. Our classmates noticed this too. Some privately called her shameless, while others praised her as cool. A well-meaning girl in our class kindly reminded Harper, "This could make you sick easily. Girls need to take care of their bodies." Harper replied carelessly, "My body's fine. Don't worry about it." After hearing that, everyone kept quiet. She really wouldn't get sick. In my past life, all those gynecological diseases she got were transferred to me instead. I was constantly running to the hospital for treatment. In this life, I wonder if her dear mother Grace can handle those diseases. Over the next 2 weeks, Harper changed boyfriends every 3 days. She rarely spent nights in the dorm until one afternoon. Harper suddenly called me, "Charlotte, my mom's sick. Can you come to the hospital?" Charlotte Kim is my name. I figured this couldn't be an ordinary illness, so I had to go see. When I arrived at the hospital, both Harper and Carter looked extremely nervous. The first thing they did when they saw me was check if the crystal bracelet was still on my wrist. Only after seeing it securely on my hand did they breathe a sigh of relief. I pretended not to notice their strange behavior and asked, "What is wrong with Grace?" Harper sighed. "The doctor says my mom is 2 weeks pregnant, and she also has serious gynecological problems. The doctor said it is caused by too frequent sexual activity and poor hygiene." When my dad heard about this, he yelled at my mom and stormed off angrily. Whether this baby can be saved still needs more tests. I glanced at Grace on the hospital bed. She was happily stroking her belly, delighted about this new life. Harper seemed to suddenly think of something and nervously grabbed my arm. She asked, "Charlotte, have you been feeling unwell lately?" I nodded. "Actually, yes. I feel like I've gained quite a bit of weight recently, and my period has been delayed for a long time. Since I am at the hospital anyway, I'll get some medicine later." After hearing my words, Harper's shoulders visibly relaxed. I secretly smiled to myself. I had indeed gained weight recently, but that was because the small restaurants around campus were too delicious. My period wasn't delayed either. It was just that after spending so much time with Luna, my cycle gradually shifted from the end of the month to the middle. In the end, Grace couldn't keep the baby. She was already of advanced maternal age, making pregnancy very risky. The doctor advised her to pay attention to hygiene and take protective measures, or it could lead to more serious consequences. But clearly, neither Harper nor Grace took the doctor's words to heart. Harper maintained her routine of switching boyfriends every 3 days. Since she rarely returned to the dorm, we barely crossed paths. 3 months later, Harper sent a message in our group chat. Is it really possible for someone to be pregnant with 2 babies at the same time? One 3 months old and one 1 month old. Less than a minute after sending it, Harper deleted the message. Everyone who saw it thought Harper was joking and didn't take it seriously. But I knew it was real because both babies in Grace's belly had been transferred from Harper's. I knew the show was about to begin. The next day, Harper called me furiously, demanding I come to the hospital. Before I even pushed open the hospital room door, I could hear heated arguing inside. A rough male voice filled with rage. I've been away on business trips for months. Whose bastards are those 2 in your belly? You are pregnant with 2 kids at once. How could you do this to me? This man was Harper's father, Jaden White. Grace defended herself through tears. I didn't. I don't know why this happened. These past few months, I haven't even touched another man's hand. I really didn't cheat. When she saw me enter, Harper pulled me aside and demanded, Charlotte, tell me honestly, have you experienced anything unusual with your body these past few months? I acted surprised. How did you know I wasn't feeling well? I came to the hospital secretly. Don't ask me anymore. I really can't talk about such private matters. After hearing my words, much of the suspicion in Harper's eyes faded, and she lowered her head in thought. Just then, the doctor's frustrated and helpless voice came from the room. I already warned you last time to take proper precautions. Having an abortion would cause severe damage to her body. Moreover, the patient's health is already poor. There is a real risk of losing both mother and babies. Upon hearing this, Harper's legs went weak, and she nearly collapsed. I quickly steadied her. Don't worry too much. Maybe the doctor made a mistake. If Grace didn't have relations with anyone else, how could she be pregnant? It doesn't make scientific sense. Why don't you try another hospital for a second opinion? Harper nodded, as if trying to convince herself. We absolutely must change hospitals. She then looked at me and asked, by the way, you are still wearing that crystal bracelet I gave you, right? That was my gift to you. You can't take it off. I spent a lot of money on that bracelet, so you better appreciate it. I smiled. Harper, you are so thoughtful. We barely know each other, yet you gave me such an expensive crystal bracelet. I heard crystals have special powers. People who don't know better might think you are trying to harm me. Harper's expression instantly froze, and she quickly said, how could that be? This bracelet brings you peace and protection. I raised my right hand, showing the fake bracelet on my wrist. But why didn't you tell me earlier that this bracelet shouldn't be worn by others? That day, Grace said, the bracelet was too valuable, so she took it back. Now, that bracelet should still be on her wrist. I was afraid you'd be upset, so I bought a fake one. Harper trembled with rage and stormed into the hospital room. She yanked off Grace's blanket and saw that Grace was indeed wearing the real crystal bracelet. Harper's hands shook uncontrollably. Ignoring everyone's stares, she ripped the crystal bracelet off Grace's wrist. Then she turned and shouted at me, this is the crystal bracelet I gave you. Why did you let my mom wear it? Why? I acted confused. Does this bracelet have some special function? Grace said it was too valuable and insisted on taking it back. She also said she was afraid you'd throw a tantrum, so she told me not to tell you. Harper froze, realizing her reaction was too extreme. Then smiled awkwardly. She said, that is not what I meant. I just think this bracelet suits you perfectly. From now on, wear it properly. No matter who asks for it. Don't give it to anyone else. Okay, with that, Harper grabbed my hand and put the real bracelet back on my wrist. The crystal bracelet flashed with an almost invisible light. I was stunned. This bracelet actually had a secondary binding function.